how come some blogs have this really cool pin it button that shows up over their images and your blog doesn't? Well, that's because you got to add this piece of code. So Pinterest has updated the way that they use we used to call it the pin it button. Now it's a save button. The way that you embed this on your site and the way that you enable it on your site. So they've done a couple updates. So if you installed it a long time ago, which I did when it was called the pin it button, it doesn't really work anymore. And it just doesn't seem to work on my site. And they also had a plugin that hasn't been updated for a long time that you used to be able to use to add this to your site, and it's just not compatible with a lot of the newer themes and newer updates. And so it's a really good idea to go ahead and update your widgets to these brand new pin it buttons. Now, if you're using a plugin like Social Warfare or Tasty Pins or something like that that does this automatically for you, you don't need to do this. But if you're on WordPress and you don't want to use a plugin, then this is how you can add this functionality to all of your blog posts. So this tutorial specifically is for WordPress sites that are running on Genesis. So running on the Genesis theme, and then you can have any child theme you want to customize that, but you need to have Genesis. I have another tutorial on how to do this on WordPress sites running Thrive themes, and I will put a link down to that in the description of this video so that you can go over there if you are using Thrive themes. If you are using anything other than WordPress and Genesis, this tutorial may not work for you. But it might work if you have a blog that is built on a theme that has a spot for you to add scripts to the individual posts in the body of the post. So first, let's build the widget, and then we're going to go look over at blog to show you how to, where do you put this? This widget builder page, you can use it to do all different kinds of things. So you can build save buttons, follow buttons, embed boards. I use this pretty often to embed boards on my blog posts, embed profiles, pins, etc. So the first thing we want to do is, I don't want to just have the button on any image. I want it to show up on image hover. You can customize this however you want, but I like the pin button to show up only when somebody puts their mouse over the top of the image. So if this, if you choose a different option, then this button's like always on there, and I don't know, I feel like it kind of covers up stuff in the image. So I just want the button on there if they are hovering over the image, because typically they're going to put their mouse over it if they're trying to download it or save it or click it or do something like that. So this way that button shows up. There's also a couple different designs for the button. So we've got this little rectangle that says save, and then the round button that's just the P. I don't want to assume that everybody knows what the P means, so I like to leave it where it says save. So they're like, oh yeah, save. And they may not even realize that it's the Pinterest logo, but if they click on the save and it opens up, they're like, oh, okay, it's Pinterest. You can also make this bigger. So here's the size it is default, and then large, it's a little bit bigger. So you can choose which one you want. I picked the big one because I get a lot of traffic from Pinterest, so I really want people adding my stuff to Pinterest so I can keep getting that traffic. So then down here, it automatically generates this code, which is super cool, right? You're gonna take this code and copy it, and then you're going to go over to your blog post, and here's a blog post, and I'm going to go over to the text side, and we're going to drop this in there, and everything's going to be great. Well, here's the problem. So when you put the code back here on the text tab of your blog post, and then maybe down the line you switch back to visual because you're still editing a few things, now all of a sudden that code disappears, that script disappears, because this is not the right place to put it. And you have to remember that, oh yeah, I got to make sure I don't switch back over. Oh, I just found a spelling error. You got to make sure you don't switch back over to visual after you've put the code in. Well, I'm always updating posts, I'm refreshing links, I'm adding new things, and that is just not going to work for me. So on WordPress, if you're using Genesis, I already have it in here, but I'm just going to delete this for the sake of making it clean. If you're on Genesis, you have this area down here. So you've got your Yoast little box. This is under your blog post. You've got, if you have ads, you can disable those, blah, blah, blah. And these are all different settings that you can add to your post. But down here in Genesis, I have scripts, and it allows me to add header scripts and body scripts, and then the body scripts position. So this script needs to be before the closing body tag on your blog post. So we're just going to paste that script. So again, I copied it from here, I pasted it. it's not going to change from blog post to blog post. So we just need to go into every single blog post and paste this script here. And what it does is it allows the images to be pinnable. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. This post is not ready to be published, and so I'm still working on it, so it's got a little bit of notes and other things on it, but I just want to show you the functionality. If I hover over the image now, look at there, I get that pin it button, the save button. And if I click to pin it, it should pull up the image. This image isn't quite optimized yet. So it just has the title of my, it has my SEO title in there. So let's go find one that is a pinnable image. And you can set the attributes for the images, and that's another video, but, and I'll link to a video that shows you how to do that, how you can set so that it pulls a specific description for that pin and specific hashtags for the pin. I'm going to click the pin it button, and here you can see I have a description here that is optimized with keywords, and it has hashtags. And so I have a link down here in the description to how you can set that up, but you can see that it's super easy now for people to pin from this post because that pin it button comes right up and it's going to pull the right data from the post. So I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, please let me know down in the comment section. And if you are looking for the tutorial on how to do this on Thrive themes, definitely click the link down in the description to head over and see that video.